Dear beauty companies, for all that is good in the world and for the love of my pocketbook, please stop with the foundation releases. Just stop. Stop. We get it. We're included. We're matte. We're glowing. We're matte glowy. We're dewy. We're all of that stuff all at the same time. Thank you, foundation gods. But honestly, stop. This is truly an off-the-cuff video because I was trying to put some makeup away and I came across a bunch of my foundations and I just thought, holy goodness, sweet baby Jesus, make it stop. Hi guys, I'm Neo of Ahhhsoneo and this is my channel here, my lovely little piece of the YouTube world. I love makeup, I love foundation. I buy way too much and I was just sitting there looking at my stuff like, I need a frigging intervention. I do, because the makeup drug dealers are killing me right now. Freaking killing me right now. And I know you guys can relate. I think we're all going through a little bit of foundation fatigue. So if you guys want to join me in my little video where I'm telling the makeup gods to cool it just a little bit with the foundation releases. If you'd like to see my thoughts on why I think everybody just needs to take a chill pill, then you gotta watch this video. You just gotta watch this video. So, if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by Ahhhsoneo. I really appreciate that. I'll link all my stuff down below. If you've been here before, then you know that I like to do, on occasion, not that often, chatty opinion pieces, and I'll link some down below. I've got like, yes, Louis Vuitton should discontinue the monogram canvas. Ugh. Make it make sense, Jesus. I've got You're a Makeup Addict, and then I've got How to Get Over Your Makeup Addiction. So little things like that. I'll put that down below. But today I kind of wanted to go over something. So this won't look so bad, but this isn't all of it. I was trying to organize my makeup, which has been a project that's been going on for a while. But I started putting some of my foundations in little boxes like this so I could see them. And when I opened the drawer, I got a knockoff IKEA, those little white stands. Anyway, long story. I opened the drawer and this is what was looking up at me. So that's 4, of which one is still in the wrapper, which is the Pat McGrath in the right shade this time. And then I've got another 5 in here, although I must admit this one's almost done. Pretty proud of myself for that one because it's been a while since I finished the foundation. So that's already 9 and there's more. And I'm actually wearing a sample of yet another foundation on my face right now. Yeah. Let me know if you guys would like to see a review of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Foundation, but I'm gonna say this. I am not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. So, I'm broke. I can't. It's too much. Anyway, but as I was saying, I was looking at these boxes, looking at all these foundations, and I was like, make it make sense, sweet baby Jesus. Here's the thing. I love foundation. You guys love foundation. I love that I have so many options now with foundations. It's like, oh my goodness. I know you guys have seen Nima Tang. She is, I don't know exactly her ethnicity, but she looks to me like she's Sudanese or somewhere. She's East African, let's put it like that. And she is a very deep chocolate color. I will link her channel down below if you don't know who she is. And it's amazing now to see so many makeup channels going that deep, where the darkest, bluest, deepest, deep chocolate brown is getting foundation coverage. And let's not forget the palest pale, lightest folks are also finding their foundation coverage as well. And it's really great. And I just want to start this video off by saying thank you to the foundation gods for that. I'm here for inclusivity. I'm here for inclusivity. I'm here for inclusivity. I am. I'm here for all of us being able to find the foundation that we like. Thank you. However, here's the thing. I'm just gonna put it out there. Too many options, people. Too many frigging foundation launches are happening right now. I mean, there are weeks when there's 2-3 foundation launches from big brands, let alone the indie small brands that, you know, we don't get to see, that are coming out every week. And it's too much. I am lost for choice. I cannot even look at some of the stuff that's coming out. And I'm a confessed makeup foundation whore. I want to buy everything, don't get me wrong. But the options are now just too many. It's like Urban Decay, Pat McGrath, and I think, I don't know who, all came out the same week. And then there's Dose of Colors and this and this and this. It's all coming out at the same time. And it's just too much. I wish you guys would all get a Google Calendar and share your release dates so we can know when things are coming out and we can budget accordingly, kind of check it off. That would help. That would really help. That would help. So that's number one. There's just too many releases too quickly, one on top of the other. There's not enough time to even get excited about one piece of foundation before the next one comes out. And whew, it's exhausting. We are tired. We really are. Number two, the cost of foundation. Yeah, and this one's gonna kind of run into number three, but we'll get into that. But number two is the cost of foundation. Guys, foundation now is expensive. I mean, remember when you were paying $40 for foundation and you were like, whoo, Jesus, yeah. Now, to me, from the releases that I'm seeing, 40, 45, that's now the lower end of the spectrum. It is. Yeah, I just remembered where the other foundation was. Hello? I think this first came out at 110 and it's now 120. How? I mean, really, take me out on a date, buy me dinner, give me an orgasm, and then you'll be worth 120. And, you know, since I own this, maybe those things have happened. But you know what I mean. Really, $200 foundations from La Prairie. I think it's, if I didn't pronounce that correctly, so be it. But Chanel has a $135 foundation. La Prairie has a $200 foundation. And the only thing, thank you Jesus, my wallet is thankful about is that I don't have a color match to that one because you know I would have tried it. I have a problem. This we know. But, you know, if you're releasing 3 foundations in 1 week and they're all $40, $50, $60, $68, I'm looking at you, mother, Pat McGrath. I'm on a budget. I've only got so much money I'm spending on beauty every month. Most of the time. And then you're releasing 2 to 3 of these things in 1 week. It's just not gonna happen. I have to prioritize, and sometimes my priorities mean I can't get my hands on everything, which is kind of what's happening with this Charlotte Tilbury here, because I kind of like it. Do you guys like it? What do you think? That I just bought 3 foundations within the last month, if not 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. I've just bought 3 foundations. One was a backup. Yeah, I bought Pat McGrath. I bought another Chanel Le Beige because I'm addicted. And then I bought the Chanel Dewy Tint because I just like Chanel anyway. But that's 3 foundations within the last 6 weeks. I can't, you know, Charlotte Tilbury, I like your look. I really do. But yeah, we're done here. I have to draw the line somewhere. So that was number 2, and now of course I've forgotten what number 3 is, even though I said 2 and 3 were gonna be related to each other, so I'll have to come back to that one. And then we have foundation finishes. I get it. Technology has advanced to such a point that you can now make foundation do anything, including dinner and that orgasm. Yeah, and it's fantastic. But as a common lay person who likes to read ingredients but has to Google most of them because I don't know what they do or how they do it, coming up with this new kind of foundation and then saying this is the latest technology or this is the latest pattern and this blah blah blah, I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. So I don't know what makes this foundation better than this foundation. I don't know what makes one foundation within your own line better than another foundation within your own line. Make it make sense. Seriously, why should I buy, besides matte and luminous, Yeah, between the matte and the dewies and this amazing patented technology and skincare quality in your foundation and stem cells in our foundation, and I don't know what else you guys are putting in our foundation, at the end of the day, we don't know what it means. What does it mean? What does it mean? I mean, honestly, what is the differences between all these new foundations that are coming out now? Why should I choose one over the other? Besides finish. But at the end of the day, I know I've done comparison videos where I'm looking at a $120 foundation versus a $60 foundation. And I think it was, hold on, I got them right here. It was these two, and I'll link that video down below. So La Mer versus Chanel. And most people, when they commented on there, they said, I can't tell the difference. Yeah. So all your technology, all your skin froth, all the skin broth in your foundation and all of this, it's like, okay, all right, are you really that better? I mean, so many, if you look on YouTube, there's tons of videos showing drugstore dupes to high-end foundations. I mean, there's people who think, and it just slipped my mind, there's a dupe also for the La Mer foundation that's $120, so it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, do we really need all of these foundations? I don't know. I'm just saying. Oh, and then the last one is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was watching my girl HowConnie's video, and I'll link that down below, and she made a comment about how she buys a lot of her high-end foundation at the discount outlets like Marshall's and TJ Maxx, and a lot of times it's the darker colors that are being discounted. And she said, you know, for these foundation brands, they come out with these large selections because they're trying to be inclusive, and then they cannot sell them. They cannot sell them, and they end up having to discount them. And you know, I agree with that, and I think it's an argument that the makeup brands have made for years, that, you know, that this is their subset, right? Like, okay, let's say a Japanese brand. Let me take it out of black and white and say, let's say a Japanese brand that maybe only has 3 or 4 colors, and they sell in Japan. And I understand there are people of color in Japan, but for the most part, they're targeting their audience, which might be 95% their particular range, right? So, and so the argument that a lot of companies have made is that there's not enough of people of color supporting these new colors, these different colors, right? So even though I think Fenty has come along and shown them that, hey, if you make 40 shades, those 5 people here and those 5 people here, so those 5 very pale people and the very 5 dark people now can be included. However, companies are saying, but those people aren't buying the colors, and so they're having to end up discounting them. Now, a simple way around that issue is, of course, just make sure you're making less of the low sales volume colors. No one needs to know you're making less, basically. But I think what I'm trying to say in a rambly kind of way is that companies realize this. They're willing to go and make 40, 50, however many shades, because they know social media will come for you if you don't. However, at the same time, they know that they're not gonna sell as much as certain foundation ranges, which is why, one, they might come out with 25 and then expand to 36, or they come out with 36, but then every time you're looking for that deep shade or that pale shade, you can't find it because that stock is limited. And I kind of blame that on us, people of color or people of no color who are the pale people. Not that you don't have a color, but you know what I mean. But I'm going to focus on the darker spectrums, which is a point that Connie on her video was making, and I totally agree with, in that a lot of times for people of color, we're not buying these foundations. You know what I'm saying? We're not buying $100 foundations. We're not buying the $60 foundations. We're now buying 40s. I mean, we might not have been buying them because they weren't available, but now they are available. They're everywhere. We're forcing companies to cater to us, and then we turn around and don't support it. And if I'm wrong here, please let me know. Please let me know. But I make a lot of videos where I'm focusing on high-end foundations, expensive foundations, And a lot of times I get comments that are like, oh, that looks great, but I'm not spending that. Fine, I'm not in people's pocketbooks. Or, oh, that looks great, but it looks like the dupe. Fine, I'm not, again, I'm not in people's pocketbooks. Or just people saying, for the most part, oh, it looks great, but I'm not spending X amount on a foundation. That I get a lot of. Or when I'm doing research on other high-end foundations and I'll see, hey, like the new Charlotte Tilbury, it's amazing. The Pat McGrath, it's amazing. The La Mer, it's amazing. Chanel, it's amazing. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, freaking amazing. But a lot of times when you're looking at those videos, the comments from the women of color, or the comments from people of color, sometimes tend to be, I'm not spending that on a foundation. So, if I was a makeup drug dealer, otherwise known as a makeup brand, I might think twice about, well, maybe I'm just going to make 20 of that color because I'm going to sell so much less, right? So, I feel dirty just feeling like I'm defending weird business practices. But I think at the end of the day, business is a business. You got to make money. And if we can't clamor for brands to give us every shade under the sun, and then they do their best to, and then we turn around and we don't buy it. If I'm that brand, I would be like, you know what, I made it. Some of you came for it, some of you didn't. I sold what I could sell. They send the rest to Marshalls, which is good for us, I guess, too. But you know what I'm saying? I think that is part of the dynamic that these companies have to deal with. And we have to support them if we want the inclusivity to continue. Okay, rambled, but that's the point I was trying to get to. If we want we can't expect every brand to be inclusive if we are not supporting their inclusivity. We can't expect every brand to offer us 40, 50, 60 shades of foundation if we are not buying all 60 shades of foundation. For me, so I appreciate brands that do come out with the large ranges, and I just want to tell us to support those brands that come out with the large ranges and buy as many of those colors as we can so we can continue to see them. Dior has recently expanded their airbrush shades. That's on my list too, but I'm gonna wait until next year. But I know Dior is expanding their range. Dior's always had a fabulous range, I think. And so I've always supported them. I like Dior foundations. I like Chanel foundations. La Mer expanded their foundation range and included the darker shades as well. That was, I appreciate when brands make that effort. I also support brands that have always made the effort. You know what I'm saying? Not just when they decide to include us, but if they've always included us, I go for that too. But the point I'm just trying to make is that we've clamored, we've fought, we've screamed on social media for inclusivity when it comes to foundation colors. Let's support them so we can keep getting those colors. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of editing with that one. So, brands, those are my top 3 things that are just leading on my part to foundation fatigue. It is crazy out here in these streets. This foundation just running wild in these streets, and it's all a girl can do to keep up. It's all, it's like, I gotta make my choices, people. I gotta make them somewhere. So, if you're a makeup drug dealer, which is what I am taking to calling beauty brands, because you guys are out in the streets just slinging this stuff. It's like crack. It is like crack. I see people like taking out credit cards, taking out my Ulta credit cards, Sephora credit card. What the hell is that? We need credit cards now to buy makeup? Yeesh. I mean, I know we've always had credit cards to buy makeup, but yeesh. But yeah, it's because of makeup drug dealers out here in these streets. And yeah, so watch that. Going into debt over makeup is not worth it. So stop it, makeup drug dealers. Guys, thanks so much for watching. This was just a fun thing.